cables. Looks like a DisplayPort cable and a HDMI cable. More with the base. For the power adapter. So as to build quality on these monitors, I'm going to give the highest rating to this Acer. It's a really strong looking monitor. The stand is really nice. It's got adjustable vertical. Everything seems really solid. Nice big feet. No risk of it tipping over, at least seemingly none. You can do up and down, you can do the tilt. It doesn't have any axis spin, but you know, to do any of that, you could just turn it with the moving the feet. It just seems like a really high quality display, really high quality stand, really high quality everything. In second place, just from like an aesthetic touch and feel, I'm gonna put this Dell 3014 in that spot. You know, the stand is fully articulating, it's also very stable. Just a nice overall monitor. Looks classy, pretty simple, looks classy. And in third place, but not bad, is this HP Omen. And the reason I'm going to place it there is it seems a little wobblier. You can see if I touch it, it bounces a little bit, which is kind of lame. And then it's got a stand that doesn't do anything except for tilt back or forward. So I've got it tilted back a slight amount, but it doesn't raise and it doesn't pivot or do any of those other things. It's just a pretty bare stand. Now, so this is the HP Omen. I just hooked it up for the first time, having taken it out of the box today. AMD FreeSync wasn't on at first, and I was curious about that. A quick Google search turned up to say that it needs to be in gaming mode on the monitor, and once I switched the quick set to gaming mode, then FreeSync became available. And let's see, I don't know my way around this menu structure yet either, but maybe I can figure out if there's like information. Looks like there. Huh, interesting. It still says 60 Hertz, even though this one should support 75. So I'm going to have to poke around with that a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's right out of the box that it's going to do the 75 Hertz that it said it was going to do. Now, to its credit, immediately booting up, it looked better than the Acer 35-inch. The colors are better, the brightness is better, there's no noticeable backlight bleed, which is a big deal to me. I don't like backlight bleed. I'm really waiting until OLED comes out on monitor so I can enjoy that. Let me turn it off and turn it on and show you what that looks like. So turning it on now. I mean, I haven't adjusted contrast or brightness or anything, and there's no backlight bleed that's noticeable. So it populated here. We're still at 60 Hertz. I'm going to play around with that a little bit before I resume the video again and see if I can get it to the 75 that it's supposed to be rated for. Well, that really couldn't have been easier. I just went into the Windows display adapters and changed it to 75 Hertz. And it pops up as 75 Hertz here and it seems to be working. Uniformity looks really good to the eye. The camera seems to be picking something up that I'm not seeing in person, whereas on the Acer, it looked about the same in the camera, like it was picking stuff up, but I could see it in person, so I'm not too worried about that. It's got a little overlay here saying FreeSync on. I hope that doesn't stay up there all the time. I don't like that I have to be in gaming mode to do this because I traditionally stay out of gaming mode and use like RGB on my Dell 3014, that type of thing. Let's take a look. So there's one IE. We'll open up another IE. We'll stick this one over here. Let's take this one to the same place as we were earlier. Hard forum, my favorite PC forum. And let's just do an MSN on this side to kind of get a apples to apples. So I'm not sure what the camera is showing you, but to my eyes, this is a sharper display than the Acer I just came from. I might have to play with the colors a little bit. Again, this is right out of the box. I haven't played with it at all. Maybe a little bit warmer or yellower than I would most prefer right out of the box, but could probably easily be fixed. The DPI is nice. I can't see the pixels as well as I could on the Acer. Open up a YouTube video, we'll take a look at that in comparison. This looks really sharp. Right out of the box, this looks really good.
There is a 97.6% chance of failure. Amy as well.
Okay, and if we just go to a regular 4K video, I think we clicked this one earlier. 4K video quality at 2K resolution, 2560 by 1440. Looks really good. From where I'm sitting on this large desk, I can't see any pixels. And the colors look really sharp. Nothing to complain about there. So I've just spent about the last 30 minutes playing with this monitor, and I feel like it's as smooth as the other one and looks better. I shouldn't say the other one, than the Acer, and looks better than the Acer. So in my opinion, again, the width is really nice on the Acer, so that's something to weigh in. But in my opinion, again, playing with one hand here as I'm filming, in my opinion, this monitor probably, in my subjective opinion, beats the Acer. 75 frames per second, never dips off 75 frames per second with the Fury X. Means butter smooth. And to my eyes, I don't think I can tell the difference between 75 and 144. I don't know if anyone really can, to be honest with you. But I certainly cannot. So yeah, I mean, this looks fantastic. It plays just like silk. The colors are good. My one gripe on this one, as compared to the Dell 3014, is that the vertical height, even though it's just a little bit, I think there's a difference between 16 by 10 and 16 by 9, even with the 32 inch versus the 30. The 32 inch 16 by 9 versus the 30 inch 16 by 10. I feel like I might be, and it's because I've played for the last 2 years on the Dell, the 3014. So I'm used to that aspect ratio, but I feel like there's just a little height missing here. And anyone used to a 16 by 9 monitor is probably not even going to notice that whatsoever. So it's a null factor for most people, I would assume. But there's a little bit of that for me. Gorgeous, like gorgeous. This looks better than the Acer. In my opinion, this beats the Acer as far as the Doom experience. Alright, we'll move on to Battlefront. I mean, this looks really good. This is on par with that. This is on par with the Dell 3014, and it looks better. It just looks better than the Acer. The extra resolution helps. I mean, you can't see any pixel structure. Everything's just a little sharper. Colors are great. Brightness is there. This is a good looking screen. Again, I'm holding the camera and moving the mouse, so I can't do a whole lot here. But just wanted to give you a taste of what that is. This is the 32-inch Omen again. Defaulted to 1600 by 900 for some reason. We'll switch it all the way up to 2560 by 1440. Leave everything as it was on the other one. Refresh rate I'll change it up to 75, I guess. And then escape, which will apply. Make sure it took. It did. Alright, now we'll give it a shot. So if we go back into that, I guess the graphics, benchmark mode. Don't care about the performance numbers here, we got them last time. It's going to be higher than 75 Hertz without any shadow of a doubt on this Fury X card. Still looks really good, but it's a more of a traditional setup. I think the Acer beats the HP Omen in this particular game just for the extra peripheral view, which just works great with racing games. There's absolutely zero problem with this. This looks fantastic too, but it doesn't have that extra width, which ends up being probably an extra 3 or 4 inches on each side of the screen with the other one. And the vertical height, you don't miss in a racing game. That'd be looking at the sky. You have plenty of road height and that kind of thing when you're playing on the Acer, so. No motion blur, looks super smooth, no complaints there. So this is Unreal Tournament 2004. The HUD still is stretched on left and right, but ultimately you have more screen real estate. At this resolution, at 32 inches, even sitting this close, like there's the desk distance, I don't really see any need for 4K. I mean, maybe I'm speaking too soon, but this looks great. Can't have any problems with that. So yeah, ultimately my review on this Omen is really good. And again, this is right out of the box. I haven't configured anything. I haven't played with contrast ratio, and I tried to make that Acer look the best it could, and this looks, I think, better than the Acer right out of the box. So this is a good contender to take away my Dell 3014. The Acer didn't do it. I like the Dell 3014 better than the Acer pretty clearly. But this is something that I will have to play with for a few days and see which one I like better.